Are you ready?
Greetings, Weekend Warriors. Today I am with, as usual, my equally significant co-host, Josh Gaines, David Marks, and we are recording live at Dragon's Nest with Stephen Beats and his wife Fiesta, the owners. How are y'all doing?
Oh, pretty good.
Good, thank you.
How's business been?
Usually October's a slower month for us, but it picks up big time in November. So people start doing some Christmas shopping. But there's a lot of activities outside. I mean, it's not like totally dead, but we'll have some pretty slower nights during the October months, and it's been that way for the last. It's our third October, so it's been pretty consistent. October's you got a lot of Fall Fest, you got a lot of other stuff, and so business does slow down in October for us, but it picks back up in November as you close to the end of November, and after Thanksgiving and coming into December, we start seeing an increase, like actually in our board game sales, stuff like that. But our Magic stuff usually does pretty well throughout all of it. But like I would say, a lot of people, you'll see D&D groups. We normally have 5 or 6 on some days, and then it'll drop down to where we only have 3 or 4, or maybe 2 sometimes, just because there's so many events. You know, you have the Ren Fair going on. You got a lot of stuff, Oktoberfest, and different things going on. So October is slower for us, but overall business since this year is up tremendously.
This is your first year at this location, isn't it?
We moved over here in July, a year from July. So we've been over a little over a year.
How long have you been in business altogether? Because
I think it was July 2021 when we opened up in the old location over there.
Yeah, I remember that old location. This is a lot nicer.
Yep. And
need to mention that this place has got the grill too, and it's one of our favorite places to eat.
Yeah. So there's a cool story behind that. One, I was running a cleaning business at the time. I had worked a plant job where I was been there for 20 years. So when I got out of that, I was looking for something else to do, and I wanted to do something on my own. Because I've been working, for somebody else for 20 years, even though I had a really good job and I was a supervisor, but I was ready to move on from that after 20 years and try something on my own. And I started a cleaning business because I had done that in the past, and it started to get successful, but I was really looking at it, it's like, well, I'm not having fun with this. It's like, this is something I don't think I really want to do for a long time. And why would I quit that job? I didn't want to do it to do something I didn't want to do. So
Yeah.
we've always rented an office for D's, the business D runs, which is merchant payment systems. We do credit card processing also. So we, instead of renting, we're like, hey, let's just try to find some real estate to buy. It's more of an investment for us, So we did that, and to give her an office, and I was like, well, I guess I'll open up a little shop, and we'll start selling, like D&D stuff, and TCG stuff, Pokemon, stuff like that. Just a little shop. I'll make a little money here and there, and I got our own place. Well, we did that. We found that little place over there. It's 1,500 square feet. We did a little bit of remodeling at first, and we thought, okay, we'll open up. We opened up. The people didn't stop coming. We even had to put a parking lot in the back, and we were putting people outside playing D&D.
I remember that tiny parking lot. I drive a big Suburban.
Yeah. I mean, it's like we ran out of parking lot. We ran out of room inside. We started tearing down walls in there. Dee's office shrunk to a corner, and where she couldn't even hardly get into it because we had to use her office for like our back stock and stuff like that. So she basically got shrunk out of an office because the business grew so quickly and so fast. Now, we had originally looked at this building, but it used to be a pizza brewery place, and they had tons of brewing equipment in here, and they were wanting a lot of money for it. And I just didn't want to buy that and be stuck with all that brewing equipment. But for one, the price was really high with all that stuff. And then we got to looking, and we bought the lot next to us, thinking we're going to expand. And this is like, just a little bit after COVID started. Everybody started, trying to get back to life. And materials, labor, and all that stuff was so expensive because there was nobody doing it. There was no materials to be had. To add on to that would have been astronomical more than I paid for the first building land to start with, and all I was wanting was 1,000 more square feet. Well, that kept falling through. So we decided to go back to this, and we called again about this and found out that they had sold the brewing equipment, and so the building was still for sale. So, and it was at a price that we thought would work for what we were doing, and so we went ahead and we put a contract on this, and we got through it and got it. And the big positive to moving over here was that we could serve food, and that's where I was like, the Dragon Grill. We can open up the food and serve burgers and fries, and we fantasy theme the menu just to give it that feel so you can come up and stuff. So
that's really nice. I really like that D&D themed menu. It reminds me of this restaurant I was watching a video on YouTube. They have a D&D themed restaurant, it's a burger place, and the whole burger menu is all, you gotta roll a D20 for everything, and you gotta accept whatever it is.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, you can make whatever it is chaotic. You choose the alignment by making it chaotic and adding ghost peppers or whatever to it. You got 20 different cheeses, you roll a D10 on the meat, a D6 on the bread. I mean, you have to roll 6 D20s for toppings or whatever. It was great. So I really like the idea of the D&D themed menu that you guys have here.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, and that's one of the big things that's moving over here to the bigger location was to help support the store too, because game stores are hard. They're really, really tough to operate. The profit margins are really low. I mean, you have to have some kind of supplemental income to help you stay around, because you see so many little guys trying to start up and die.
It's because of eBay and Amazon.
You can't compete with that.
I mean, I'm not trying to say it to be condescending or anything, but the only draw to things like this is like the grill or the tournaments. I mean, people are I don't know how many D&D game shops I've seen shut down over eBay and Amazon.
Oh, it's definitely a thing. It's more that you have to build a community, and the community has to want to support you, so they can have a place to come and do this stuff at. And if we built a very good community to start with, so we have a lot of patrons that want to see us stay around. So instead of spending the extra money, and we try to be competitive as we can. Now, we can't obviously match everything online. There's just no way, because sometimes they sell for 50 cents or $1 over.
Yeah.
Well, by the time that book pays its rent in my store, there's no way. And I got an employee. We got air conditioning. We got lights. We got all this stuff. We got to keep going.
Yeah,
and there's just no way.
See that?
They don't. They don't see that.
They're just bottom line, and That, like I said, that's the biggest challenge, I think, especially with what Wizards of the Coast has been doing to mom and pop shops. I know for a fact that I heard Matt and Eddie, who was on our show earlier on one of their podcast episodes, say Wizards of the Coast is undercutting the prices of all their stuff to Amazon, the separate cards that you keep under glass. They're selling them to Amazon at a fraction of what they're selling them to the brick and mortar stores.
Well, there's been the biggest problem, I think, and I've sent them information on this because they ask us surveys all the time, and I've sent this to Wizards. It's they need to slow their product down. They are pushing too much product way too fast, and that's causing the stores to sit on a lot of product, and that's money they need to operate on, because they're slowing down the sales because there's too much product. And it's not getting bought. And we're paying more for this product now, and they're wanting us to charge more, and they're sitting out sets that are record high sets, that cost a lot of money, right?
Yeah,
that, really
that Book of Many Things, the deluxe edition's $100. I want it, but I'm not paying $100 for it.
Yeah, but it's just the thing that, and then we have to get the stuff so we can have product to sell, and then nobody wants to buy it. You see, it's that's the problem. And then we're sitting on hundreds of thousands, thousands of dollars just in products just sitting there. It's not moving. But that's what we're having to pay for. We're having to pay for really high cost. And I think it's just everything across the board is going up, whether it's this stuff, food, anything. If you just look around how expensive everything's getting, and it's just a growing pain, I think. We're just in a part of our economy right now that all of this is costing us a lot of money, and it's going to be hard to get through that. And it's really hard for mom and pops and small retail to make it through those things, and that's why you see so many shut down, is because this is the kind of stuff when the economy goes bad, prices go up, everybody wants more pay and it's just hard. People don't want to spend their money. They're stingy with their money because they don't got more, and everybody wants more money. They want more paycheck, and then you got to pay employees and you got to pay upkeep and the rent. We don't have rent because we're purchasing, but like the utility bills are going up. Like it's astronomical. It's like everything just keeps going. I think until we come to more of an economic stance, it's going to be just tough for everybody.
Yeah.
In general.
Yeah. And I think something people forget about all the time is, yes, your gaming store is a good place to meet up and game, but even those tables aren't free. That's valuable real estate. Your tables take up.
It's a lot of money to upkeep. I mean, you just think after a few years and stuff, things start wearing out. You got to replace it. There's a lot going on like that, but it's like the people that really want this place to be here, they're going to support us. They're going to come in, even if they don't buy something every day. They do buy a drink or something. They're still supporting us. It's those Patreon people that are going to keep us around and keep us going and have us. And that's why I kind of diversified myself a little bit too, to help with that, with the food. So if you say, for instance, you just come by for lunch one day, that supports us. You know what I mean? And if you're not playing D&D, you just have to be in town. You swing by, grab a burger. We made it to where that kind of stuff we can live off. That the store can live off of the grill / this, back and forth.
It also helps too, though, that Stephen's really good at buying product, and we have such a big variety. And we have a diverse variety of stuff, from D&D to plushies to dice so that if anybody comes in, they can buy something.
And I also like the fact, I think that you actually have local people make things.
We do a lot of commission stuff. There's some things I buy straight out from people and then resell it, and there's some things that I'm like, well, I'll put it on commission for you, and we get a percentage of that because they're taking up real estate, places for us to put stuff, and we're having to do all the labor of selling it, and I'm paying my employee to run the register, we're collecting the money and then we're holding it for them. So we make a little bit of money. We try to be very fair with that. And we welcome that to an extent. I can't accept everybody's stuff because you wouldn't believe how many people come in here and want me that. I've only got so much real estate. Yeah. And if I think it's a really good product and it's something I think will sell, I will help you out and we can work with each other. But I do get a lot of that. I get a lot of people coming here, and I do have to turn some down. It's not because that I have to pick and choose, because there's an excess of it. So definitely get a lot of people coming in wanting to sell 3D prints and different things like that. And it's like, I try not to step on anybody else's toes. Like, I have somebody already does laser cuts for me and stuff, and if somebody comes in and wants to try to do that, I've already got a guy with that. So, it's like kind of first come, first serve. If they want to quit, if they're quit being my supplier and stuff, then I will move on and find somebody else. But try not to make it where it's so competitive. And if you get in with me, we're gonna work together until we don't want to anymore, and then I can open it up for somebody else.
So what's the biggest problem that you guys face here?
Big problem. Staffing sometimes. It is it's hard to run a business and keep good staff and cover shifts sometimes, especially when you don't have a lot of staff. Because, like, say for instance, one of your employees gets sick, you don't have coverage. Say for instance, one of your employees calls you, says, I'm not going to be able to make it to work on time. Well, it's up to us to make sure that the store is open and everything. So, and then it also keep it, retaining employees throughout it, because we only have 2 employees that work pretty much what I say full time. It's almost 40 hours a week, and then we have some part time employees, and they fill in the gaps in there because you got your front counter you got to run, you got your grill you got to run all day, and in the evening. So I would say the biggest struggle is keeping and trying to maintain enough staff and keep the place going, because like when we're slow, we have staff here, right? So, and we're not making a lot of money to pay for their paycheck, and then there's times where we're making we got way too much business and we don't have enough employees. So that is a really hard thing to balance.
Especially like this weekend, where he's going to be doing a trade show or a Long Con convention in Longview. I'm going to be doing a trade show in Henderson. Plus, we have to have the grill and the front counter stuff.
Yeah, so it's like it's all hands on board, and if you get one person down, it's bad. It's really bad. I mean, because we're stretched thin. I mean, this is not a norm thing, so we can't hire extra people, be on staff all the time for something that just happens randomly.
Mhm.
And then, like I said, business gets slow sometimes, and sometimes it gets super busy, and but that's just the nature of our business. We don't know when we're going to have a group of 15 kids coming here from the homeschool people to come and eat lunch one day. It's like, it happens though. It's like, so yeah, I would say staffing is hard, but it's not. It's manageable, but it's one of our biggest things that we have to work with, and try to keep on top of.
One of the things I like about this store is you let people actually come in and play. Like he said, he was at a shop and they wouldn't let you come in and play unless they were active paying customers.
Yeah, unless you were supporting the store, which makes perfect sense. I only ever saw that store turn away one person because he admitted he bought everything online because it was cheaper. And the guy was like, well, tables aren't free. So, unfortunately, if you're not going to buy anything...
We don't really police that. It's like, we want you to come in and we hopefully, even if you don't buy anything, maybe you bring a friend that will. You know what I mean? So eventually I think it pays off in the long run, not to charge people to come in. Plus, we understand if you're having a tough week or a tough month and stuff like that, you just can't afford to. And we still don't want to turn you down just because of that. Yeah. But there's always going to be that person that walks in the store, walks up to my shelf and pulls out their cell phone and price checks me and leaves. Because, I went and saw it in person. Now I'm going to go buy it online. You're not going to stop that. I don't care who you are. So I just let it. I just kind of dismiss it. I mean, because it's nothing. If I want to fight it, it's just going to make it look bad. It's like, I'm over there telling so and so that they can't, they can't come in because they're not going to spend money if they're just going to come price check. Just let them do it. I mean, it's like in the end, it's like there's not a lot you can do about it. And by being a lot of people don't understand what the friendly local game shop. Yeah, that friendly comes first before anything. So we're accepting a lot, people to come in here. And like I said, you don't have to spend money to come in here to play. Yeah. But eventually, it would be really nice if you would support us. If you would do that for us. Just buy a drink here and there. Just do something small to help. If you want to continue to come here, we have to make some kind of money. Like to pay for the place. I mean, this place is not cheap. It's big. It's almost 4,000 square feet down here. So if we get a lot of, and we're in a very small town. Very small town. The Kilgore is what, less than 15,000 people. So we're reliant on this community to keep us alive, and these people to come in here. And
that's one of my favorite things is about the community, how much we've grown it, like in house, and it's just awesome to see people come play, whether it's board games, Magic, Pokemon, RPGs. Like, it's exciting to see everybody getting along and talking to each other, and the cell phones aren't pulled out. People are actually communicating and having a great time, and I love that.
Yeah, and that's one thing I like about this here is, you actually guys put the emphasis on friendly.
Yeah, we definitely like people to come in here, whether they're paying that day or paying in the future. It's like that's why we don't charge a table setting fee. We don't charge you to come in the door. We welcome you in. It's like, come in and play.
Well, we had a couple when we were at the other store that would come in, and they were definitely on a tight budget. They didn't have any extra money, but we welcomed them to come play board games with us every Thursday night, and they were so much fun. And then she's like, I'm so sad that we can't buy stuff. And like every now and then they would like just buy a soda and brought in cookies one time. And I was like, but that's the community that I want to build. That it's okay. Like, everybody falls on a hard time sometimes. So still come out and have fun, because when you're not, then you're going to help support us when you can.
And I think it's great that you guys host the Nameless Game Group when they meet, because I remember they used to meet at a hotel. And
right, yeah, they come every other Thursday, yeah.
I think that's a big gaming group for East Texas. I can't think of another one really that's organized like that, unless you guys do. But
no, we just have we have open tables, and we try to promote DMs to come in our stores and stuff like that. And hey, come in and play. And we get a lot of people come in and ask for groups, and I try to help them out as best I can. It's just that there's just our D&D crowd's grown so big that it's really hard to find spots without an extra DM, and we're running out of room, to tell you the truth, on Saturdays. Saturdays getting rough.
Yeah, we apologize.
Yeah, because it's like there's I think up to 5 or 6 tables now on Saturdays, and so we're spilled over into what I call the TCG area now. So we have to put people over there sometimes, just because we fill this side up over here. We try it's not technically you can play in the either other side, but you know it's
Yeah.
kind of set up to draw the RPGers over here and set up to
Mhm.
draw the TCG guys over there. Just the way it's set up,
Mhm.
and that's on purpose, just to help keep the two. You know, because you got
Yeah.
this going on over here and that over on there, but it's been spilling over on I say our D&D crowd, and then we have some that come on Sundays and Fridays now, and it's just growing tremendously. The weekends, you can usually come up here and see somebody playing a game. You know,
Yeah, it's getting to the point where I got to make sure I reserve my table with you guys.
yeah, definitely.
And if I don't, I end up having an anxiety attack. I got to call and make sure that I have my table reserved.
Yeah, it's getting to that point where it's like I don't know if we're almost max on some days. Like there's some days that we are almost max capacity on space just to house people, and that's really good for us. I mean, that helps us out a lot.
Now, are you max capacity with fire marshal or just max capacity?
No. We have a capacity of 111. It's pretty big. We don't have that many chairs down here. So it's just the problem is we have a lot of retail space too that we have to have because that's how we make our money. So if I just took a lot of the retail out, just put tables and chairs in here, I could hit 111. But I think for most of the time on those busy days we're at 70 at the most, 70 people. So. And that's come and go staff and all the players. And
now, I guess that's going to kill my next question. I was going to ask you if y'all were planning to put more Warhammer with hammer terrain tables, and I saw one or two back there.
Not at the time because Warhammer is so up and down over here. I don't understand it. It's like there will be hot one minute, and there will be people really into it. And then I want crickets for months. And I don't know. It's weird how that happens. I don't know why the Warhammer community is like that or where they're at sometimes. But definitely.
You don't do tournaments?
I've talked to them about it, the people that come.
They do, but it's very... Warhammer is a game where you pretty much buy your army and that's it. I mean, so you'll get the initial rush.
Yeah.
But once they have what they need, they really don't... And because it's so expensive to buy,
yeah, that's what I was telling
kind of
you.
slow down.
My friends used to joke they call it 40K because that's where you end up jumping into it.
Well, and I think that's what a lot happens. People get really excited about it, and they'll come in and they'll buy an army, and then they just don't realize how much work that is.
Yeah,
it's like, oh my gosh, I got to put these together, and they're like, you think, okay, well, I've sat down and I've done that, and I was like, 3 figures. I was like 45 minutes into it, and I've barely gotten 3 figures together. I'm like, whoa, I've had to find all these little things, punch them out.
Yep, when you first started.
You got to have the paints and the brushes and everything else. By the time you get that done and you get one guy painted, you're 12 hours in and you got one guy done, and you're like, I've got an army to put together.
Yep.
And I think a lot of people fall off at that. It's like
I think that's why a lot of them painters do that slap chop method and just call it good enough.
I've seen that, and I've seen people come in here and play with that, and that's fine. So we're not running sanctioned tournaments or anything, but there is a standard that you have to when you're running actual Warhammer tournaments. That they have to have
3 color standard or
3
something.
color. It is minimum 3 color standard and stuff like that. But because what they want is they want you to take pictures. They want you to put that out there, and it's kind of advertising for them too. And they want to be able to showcase stores sometimes and show your pictures in their magazines and stuff like that, and get content and stuff. So I understand why they do it.
Yeah, I think I've seen one store dedicated 100% to Warhammer, and I want to say it was either Corpus or Galveston has a store that's 100% nothing else but Warhammer.
They're hard to find these days.
Yeah,
they really are, because there's a lot of game stores that include it in their stuff nowadays.
So that means I'm going to have to get my team done, and then we'll try to get Kill Team started in your store.
Yeah,
it's Warhammer on a budget.
No, really, we had Kill Team going for a little bit.
Yeah,
and I think it's just because a lot of people are they play D&D or they play Magic and they're trying to do all this at the same time.
Yeah.
I think they keep reverting back to their roots. It's like, well, if I'm a D&D player, well, I'm going to go back and play D&D for a while. And then I'll go and they'll have this little urge to do Warhammer, and I'll do it for a minute, and then I'll go back to D&D for a long time. Then or vice versa, Magic. I got a lot of Magic players that wanted to get into the Kill Team stuff, and they were really hyped about it. They were getting their Kill Teams together and stuff, and they come out and they played a few games and all that stuff, and then they were like, oh, we'll go back and play some Magic for a while, so it's on pause. And then I have random people that come in and just set up and play someday. So until I get a good crowd or a consistency with Warhammer, I don't think I'm going to add any more play tables because we got the skirmish table and the one main table, and it mostly just sits there and takes up space 90% of the time. So, but if we can get something rolling and the tables start getting used, I could see us doing that. But we are limited. It's like then we get we have 6 groups of D&D players. We got 2 groups of Warhammer. I'm not complaining. I'm just saying that we only got so much capacity. You know, I'm glad that we fill up sometimes. It's nice.
No, I mean, even if you got something going, I don't think I would. You have a good, decent selection of Warhammer anyway.
Oh yeah.
So I don't even think you need to up your selection of it. Really.
No, I think we do really well with that. We try to keep the stuff in stock and all the new releases. We try to get a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
But I do tell you, 40K is the biggest seller. I do sell a little bit of the other stuff, like the Dark Heresy stuff, or stuff some other stuff that came out recently.
So Age of Sigmar, you do good with Age of Sigmar?
No, not really. Age of Sigmar is just one of those. It really. See, I don't know why that doesn't do better because it's more RPG style-ish. I think it feels more that way, and I would think that would do really well with the D&D crowd, you know, that want to cross over.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Most people I know that even play Warhammer at all, the only reason they get into Sigmar is so they have 28mm scale D&D models. That's really the only reason.
So, yeah.
That's what they buy them for.
Yeah.
And it all, like I said, it all goes back to D&D. Now, talking about tabletop RPGs, do you have any other big sellers besides 5e?
Pathfinder? No, Pathfinder is one of those things that just trickles out here and there. It's just not. I don't see a lot of people playing it either. I see a lot of people do. I mean, 5th edition seems well. I do see a lot of 3 and 3.5 that's come to the store. I've seen people playing that. There is, I think, a group or so that exclusively plays 3 or 3.5 that comes in here.
Yeah, Dormer. David Dormer.
Yeah. I think they only. I don't think they play 5th edition.
They play 3.5. I know for sure.
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure that then and there was a group that we had that I don't know, is that group that still comes in here. Are they still playing Rifts? Those people that set up right here.
Oh,
yeah, I think they're playing. We got a group that plays Rifts on.
Okay.
Is it Fridays or Sundays? Sundays. I think they've been coming in on Sundays, and they have a pretty good table over here of people playing Rifts, and they've been coming for probably 2 years.
You know, Matt Gullett and Eddie Bartlett, you know, they push DCC hard. You get a lot of DCC?
Only with their group is the one that you see that a lot with. I don't see it outside of their group. You know, their group that comes every other Thursday, but they do seem to like it a lot. And I do have a little bit of that product because they're such a big group that comes out here. So, but I mean, I'm not saying that people don't come and go home and play it because I would say 90% of the people play somewhere besides here. They'll come buy stuff from here, and then they play at their own houses and stuff like that. And I get that. I've done that too, but it's really hard. I think it's gonna be really hard to bust 5th edition. I mean, it got so mainstream that it's really hard. I have seen a lot of interest, but no play in like Vampire.
Yeah, I know that a lot of the other shops doesn't even allow Vampire to be played in their shops.
Yeah, I don't think anybody's played here, but I've had, you know, I know that's a big one that people play, but they usually play the old stuff. They don't come by any of it. I think there's
we've had some people buy like the Transformers. And
the Power Rangers, but it's
but
super small scale on that stuff. I don't order a lot of that because it is so. I don't know who they're playing with because I don't ever see anybody playing it. You know,
I was thinking of getting into the Lord of the Rings one I saw, but
there's a really cool one that I've been wanting to play forever. I don't even know if I still got it out there. It might have sold by now, but there was a zombie apocalyptic one.
Are you talking about Zombicide?
No, not Zombicide. It's actually an RPG book. It comes with a player's manual and a GM guide. I can't remember the name of it, but I had it out there. And I'm like, man, this looks so fun. I always wanted to play like a Survivor RPG and a zombie apocalypse type thing. It's like, but it's I see a lot of cool stuff. I just don't think it's so hard to break that 5th edition or that D&D style RPG. It's hard to get out of that because so many people just keep going back to it. I mean, it's like it's been around for since the early 70s. I mean, it's like so it's like 1st edition came out. I can't remember, was it 71, 72 or somewhere in there. I'm not really sure, but I know I've been playing since 2nd edition. So, and it's really hard for me to play anything else because I mean I've been playing it for so long and I know it, and I think it's the trying to learn a new whole world or style or something it's a lot. You got to get people to buy into it.
Yeah.
And that's the hardest part. Even though you want to do it, you still have to get a group to buy into it.
Do you think they're going to buy into the new 1D&D coming out?
It's going to be... I give it a 50-50 shot.
I'm not interested in it. To me, it's like, okay, I know 5th edition. Why am I going to go out of my way for to learn a whole new set of rules? You know.
So, is it? What are they calling it now?
I don't know if it's going to be 5.5 or 1D&D.
So what I heard, and now this may have changed by now, it's supposed to be compatible with 5th edition.
Yeah, it's supposed to be backwards compatible.
So I think if they do that, they have a better chance than to make it like, say, 6th edition. Because there's so much invested in 5th edition. They have, how many 5th edition books do you have?
I have all of them except for the couple that came out this year.
That's crazy. See how much money that is.
Yeah.
It's like how much time and money do you have invested in 5th edition that you would just say, hey, I'm going to move on to 6th edition, or so to make it backwards compatible, I think is the only way that they can survive this. I mean, because look at 4th edition. What 4th edition did, it almost killed the company. I mean, it was a train wreck. Nobody played 4th edition. Everybody that even thought about it and even bought a book went back to play 3.5. There was very few people that I know that even tried to stay with it, and they just ended up not doing it. I don't know one group or one person that I've talked to in history that's actually went with 4th edition and played it. Like they all went back to 3.5.
Well, I'm afraid they're going to make it super woke because they're already talking about taking out like all the context of slavery, like orcs were the slave drivers, really, or they talk about, and they're talking about like taking out all the half elves and half orcs, anything that's half. Implications of how they.
The problem is this is fantasy; it's made up. So why mess with it?
Yeah.
It doesn't relate to anybody. So it's like, why are you taking a fictional character and trying to take something, or a fictional race that doesn't even exist, and saying it's racist or something else like that when it has nothing to appeal to the real world in itself? I mean, it's got to get a grip. It's not reality.
Yeah.
That's my opinion.
That's just my concern too. And like I said, I like 5th edition. It's easy to learn. I tried playing 3.5 and it gave me a headache to try to figure out. Same with Pathfinder.
That's why those editions are called math.
Yeah. Well, even you go back to the days of 2nd edition, we got Thaco and stuff like that. Was we had one guy that was always on top of, hey, did I hit? It's like, because I mean, it was a pain to do that. I mean, and the further back you go, the harder it seemed that they got. If you the 1st or 2nd edition, level 1 wizard, oh my gosh, to survive to level 2, you probably had a 10% chance. You would die so easily, and you didn't have a lot to defend yourself with, and your hit points were so low. You had a D4 hit points. It was crazy.
Now, do y'all guys play D&D that much, or do you stick to the tabletops?
Since the store, I mean, I've
when we were at the other store, we were playing every Saturday night, 7 hours each Saturday. But when we moved to the bigger store, we have had 0 time.
I mean, it's just I'm around it all the time, but I don't get to be in it a lot anymore. I mean, it's just I haven't actually played a D&D section since I did one for a friend's birthday, and that was probably months and months ago. So we went from playing every Saturday for years to having our own game store to not playing hardly at all
Yeah.
anymore.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It really is. But I mean, we do. She does a lot with the board game stuff on
Yeah,
Thursdays.
I see her out there. I don't know if she's product testing or what she's doing. I've seen her out there a couple times playing board games.
Yeah,
we
we're
have board game night on Thursday night, so we either try to do once a month a brand new board game like none of the group has ever played before, and then we bring in old school games. We just have fun on Thursday night. So
I love board games. My problem is they come out with all the expansions. Like, I want Red Dragon in so bad, but I cannot find that core set, the core game. You can find all the expansions, but good luck finding Red Dragon in box 1.
yeah. What are they up to? Like 10, 12? I don't know. It's huge.
10 and 12, and they got another one that looks like the equivalent of the biggest, blackest box from Cards Against Humanities that you can store your cards in. It's got stuff.
Oh wow.
I mean, it's ridiculous, but I cannot find the core box anywhere. And good luck trying to find it new, and if you find it on eBay, half of it's missing.
Right, I don't understand that. It's just like the companies. A lot of people come and ask me. That is one of the hardest things for me to try to do. Is people come up here and ask me for a game, and I'm like, I will see what I can do. Some of these games they ask for literally have been out of print for 5 or 6 years, and they don't make them anymore. And I'm like, I can't get that. And just because I'm a board game shop doesn't mean I can get my fingers on everything. And it's like I am at the mercy of the distributors. It's like whatever they have in their warehouses, I can order. And there's a lot of that stuff that's like you don't understand why they don't have more, and especially stuff that's still in print. It's like if it's this popular, I guess manufacturing is just that tough. I mean, they can't get it out. They can't get enough out for people, and I have to do that. That's one of my biggest problems with trying to get stuff in the store, especially popular stuff, is it'll be sold out forever at the distributor. The manufacturing is just not coming through on it.
That's why I kind of gave up doing D&D minis, is because WizKids done killed, their first 10 runs of...
Yeah, they're on like wave 20 something now.
Yeah, I think they killed they've stopped making everything from wave 10 down.
Well, it's hard to even get restocks on some of the older waves too after 10. The problem is like they'll only do very small runs, of this stuff after they do their initial run. They'll do their initial big run, and then they'll sell those out to distributors. Distributors will sell them all out to us, and then we'll go back in, and when we sell, like say we have one particular miniature that sold, we sold it out in like a couple of weeks. Everybody wants to play a known sorcerer, say. Then I'll go back to order, be out of stock, and I'll go check again, out of stock, and then all of a sudden one or two will come in, and if I don't get it right then, I ain't get it. You know what I mean?
It's like good luck trying to get a gelatinous cube.
Yeah.
One of the basic monsters. Like for a long time, I couldn't get my hands on a Mimic.
Yeah, and then they eventually get back around to reprinting them with different models. It's just you gotta wait until the new wave comes out because it's so hard to find that stuff. It's just I wish I could. That was one of the hardest things for me to keep stock is miniatures because there is so many prints, and it's whichever prints they want to do, whichever wave they want to reprint at the time to get them back out to us. You gotta find it and you gotta get it then because people are waiting on it. So it's like. They just don't print enough of certain things. And I get it. You don't want to overprint stuff and have a lot of extra stock, but those are one of the toughest things to get my hands on. And when I first opened up my store, that was the biggest struggle was getting my hands on product because we were still 2020 was the year of COVID, right?
Yeah.
I opened 21, so everything was still slowly trying to get back going. And I had been buying before we opened that. I was buying months ahead of time, and we're stacking new products in boxes in like our other office we were renting, and we almost got to the top of the ceilings in there. It took me 3 months to buy enough product just to open up that small game store. It's just so it's like it's gotten better. I wouldn't say that it has gotten better, but there are still some things that are really hard to get your hands on to keep stocked up.
Like hats off. I mean, you guys have got I think maybe the second largest Reaper collection of minis in East Texas. I don't think the Longview has a big selection of you, and I think they're actually trying to phase out their Reaper minis, and the only other place I can think of sells them is the Big Shop in Tyler.
Yeah.
And hats off on you guys for getting them in. I mean, it's hard to find Reaper minis in East Texas.
They're a Texas company.
I know, that's crazy.
You know, that's the first Reaper order I didn't do it until I came over because I didn't have room for them over there. When we bought this place, the employees almost killed me because I bought probably 300 different Reaper miniatures. And when we opened up over here, because we had this whole wall to put miniatures on now, so they were out there for probably about 2 days, putting pricing and putting Reaper miniatures in the system.
Well, the thing is with Reaper is, their miniatures really aren't made for D&D. Supposedly, I have not seen it, but their minis are based for their own modules. They have modules. I don't know where to get them. I don't know where to look for them.
Right, and you've come to me and talked to me about that, and I haven't found them either. Because they have their own names of these characters that you can buy. You can go up and buy this High Elf Paladin that what I'm guessing is a High Elf Paladin. Looks like one.
Yeah.
And they have their own name. It's named. That miniature's name. So it's like it's supposed to be in their storyline somewhere.
Yeah, and I mean you can see bits and pieces of their modules on like their Kickstarter stuff if you look. Then like Dungeon Dwellers, I know is I think one of their modules. I just can't find them. I'd love to get my hands with some physical copies.
So I wonder if they distribute to any major distributors or something, or it's more of a in-house thing. I don't know.
I heard that there had some physical copies or had made some for the recent ReaperCon. I don't know how much of that is true. I don't know if you guys go to ReaperCon or not.
No, we haven't been to ReaperCon, no.
But I heard that they were either previewing them or something. I don't know, something to do with the books.
Yeah.
But it's really interesting. I'd love to get my hands on one of these because I'd love to know the stories behind these minis because I just thought, okay, it was a copyright thing. They can't say, mimics, so they have to call them mocking beasts or something else. That's where I thought their whole deal was. And then come to find out, somebody told me, yeah, they got their own modules. That's why they're named after the modules, the creatures in their modules.
Right, yeah. And I'm not sure. Maybe they'll put some free stuff online one day or something because I don't know how you get a hold of it. It's because all the Reaper stuff I get through a distributor, so I don't deal with Reaper directly. I don't think they have it open for us retailers to do that. So I have to buy all my stuff through a distributor they send their product to. So
I think you can order right off their website.
Well, if they have I don't know. I haven't looked to see if they have a wholesaler agreement. Where I get it at wholesale price because can't buy the same price you're buying it at, make money off of it. And so I have to buy. Usually with a wholesale agreement, you're agreeing. Well, they know that you're going to be buying a lot from them, so they give you a good break because they know you got to resell it. So by you buying en masse, you get a discount. Then you make your money on selling it at the price usually they're asking for it. So
yeah, and is there any other things that you'd like to talk about? I know you guys run MTG tournaments, Pokemon tournaments.
Well, we run we do a lot in Magic is probably one of our biggest events when we hold events is we have the most players show up. We just had one where we're starting a new tournament thing called the Skirmish, and we gave away $2,000 in prizing, and we had 36 players show up to that. It's a competitive, very competitive. It's a Commander. It's the format that we play on that. Commander is the more popular format around here. We have run some 60 card stuff at Pioneer in the past, and it kind of like died out. But Magic events are huge around here, and we draw a lot of people, even out of state, to come to these big events because like the winner got a card that was worth $1,000. So, and that was the number one spot. And then if you top forward, you got a pretty nice prize. We paid out the top 16 on those events, and we're going to have another one coming up. And we have a qualifier that goes. That we hold an event that whoever wins this tournament, it's only a $20 tournament. When you can play it, whenever you move on, you get to go play in the next round and ultimately win a Time Twister, which is a card that's worth about $8,000. So and then we do also stuff with Official Wizards that send people to World Tour,
Mhm.
So we could do. We're having one of those come up in a CC car format, modern format, coming up here. I think the 25th or 18th. I can't remember, but it's coming up really soon. And whoever wins that gets an invite to go to the next phase, and they can go all the way to the world tour and win big on that
Okay.
too.
Now,
So
kind of tabletop one. Do you guys do much with HeroClix? I've not heard anybody say anything about HeroClix.
we have about 1,700 to 1,800 HeroClix up in storage. I did have them out at the other thing trying to sell them, and I even tried to sell them dirt cheap for RPG tabletopping, like use them for miniatures or something. I did sell a few of them, but I don't think our area is supporting enough of HeroClix. I think they still make them. I mean, but I just don't know if we have that crowd here that I don't think we're in a big enough place. What I'm saying.
I thought the
Yeah.
company went belly up or something. It
No,
just
they
keeps-
still
No,
make
no.
HeroClix. No, they still make them today.
So I've got like a friend of mine gave me 2 huge shoe boxes of like 500 HeroClix minis, but not the cards to go with them. So
Yeah, I've got a lot of cards, a lot of HeroClix, a lot of different things. But we had them out in the store. They were just taking up a lot of room. We weren't really moving them very much, so we moved them up to storage. So it's just one of those things. I thought maybe we could get going, but I tried to sell a few online. They didn't sell very well. I mean, I do know that you could probably sell them on eBay in bulk lots and get some money out of them, but you gotta throw a big old bulk lot in there or something.
yeah, it's
But as far as playability, I don't see anybody that's even talked about playing it around here.
yeah. That's what I'm saying. I haven't seen. I thought the HeroClix totally fell off. I have not seen anything on HeroClix since, gosh, I'd say 2004 or 5, about the time all the Hastings stores went belly up.
Yeah, see, I asked around about it. I haven't really looked into HeroClix a whole lot. It hasn't been very interesting to me to start with, but I heard it was a very rough, hard game to learn, to play, and do. So maybe that's a little bit of turnoff. And
We did have one guy come into the shop, remember about a year ago, and he said he did HeroClix with his kids at school, and he had a ton of them, and they had a lot of fun. But like, that's the only person I've ever heard play the game.
yeah, we haven't heard any noise about it at all. So it's one of those things. It's like, oop, that was a bad buy for us.
Well, on that subject, what are your best sellers in the store?
Best sellers, like
Would you
our
say?
number one,
Magic.
Well, yeah.
Yes, by far.
Okay.
Sealed product is our number one. Singles is number 2.
Okay.
As far as like, if you want to like categorize it, like say what moves out of the shop, and it's going to be any Magic sealed product is going to
Okay.
bring us the most in. And then on the secondary market, the buy sell trade singles, they're
Okay.
definitely up there right with it. And then I would say, then you get down into when you start looking at the RPG stuff, it's just so much. You got dice, you have books, you have different things. You wouldn't believe how many dice I sell. It's crazy. Dice is a big seller here. Books, I sell a lot of books. Miniatures, they tend to move too. It's just when you add all that together, I don't think they hit as much as Magic, but they're up there too. They're probably better than Pokemon, I would say. If you put all the D&D stuff together, it would be better than Pokemon. Now, Pokemon just sells good because kids just love it, and they'll come in here and just buy it just because then you have the big collectors that come in and buy stuff too. But Pokemon moves just because it's Pokemon. People,
Yeah.
kids, I mean, they buy it all the time.
Are you guys doing good with that new table card game, the Disney one?
Selling out of it, there's just not. I don't see anybody playing it. We tried to get some play going on in the store, but nobody would really show up. But they are definitely buying it. I cannot. Every little piece that I got in, I sold within a day.
And I've played it, and it's a pretty fun game to play. It's like easy. It's not like
Yeah,
Magic
okay.
Card or anything.
It's
It's like a simple.
It's like
Low key.
ABCs for
Yeah.
Magic. You know, it's like low key. But I think it'll get more as that game goes on. I think it'll get a little bit tougher to play. But I think it's like if you really want to get into a TCG, the only problem you're going to have with it is availability of.
Yeah, that's what I'm hearing. Is the company
That's-
that printed it did not print enough, and that they couldn't. They're having trouble keeping up with supply and demand.
Well, also it's a Disney product. There's a ton of Disney collectors.
Yeah.
That's
That
another
too.
issue. It's like there's a lot of people that are buying that aren't playing it. They just want it because it's a new Disney product and it's a collectible product. And it's product. They see how valuable Magic and Pokemon cards are, so they're thinking of, I'm going to buy this and keep it and not open it type thing. And there's a lot of that goes on, especially when new products come out. When new stuff comes out, new TCGs come out, there's a lot of people that do that. They don't even play the game, they just come buy it. But with this being a Disney product and people just collecting all things Disney, it is one of those things that I don't think it's going to take them 2 or 3 years before they get it to where I can actually have something that you come in here that it didn't come out on release day that's still on my shelf. You know what I mean?
Did you do a pre-release party for it or anything?
No,
like that?
no, not really. It's just we got what we got and it was gone. It's like there was one of the biggest problems is what we put in orders for this stuff, and they don't send you what you order. They send you significantly less. So say I ordered 24 boxes of this stuff, which I did. I ordered like 18. You know how many I got on day one?
1, 2.
1 box.
Wow.
Now since then I've gotten 12 more, but that's how much I had. I literally, but I was able to get some play mats and deck boxes and different things, and I did get 2 cases of starter decks, and I sold all those out by day 2. And that's why you saw the people price hiking. You would see there was a guy that come in here, and he's one of our regulars, but he just happened to be somewhere else. I'm not going to name any stores or anything, but he bought his. He came in and said, "I paid $60 for this." And he come in, mine were on the shelf for $17.99 MSRP, and all the other stores are jacking the price up because of limited availability. Well, I don't do that. Now, if there's like one little product, say a special edition product, a lot of times there's not MSRPs on everything. I will be more cheap than anybody around. Definitely. But if there's an MSRP on, I don't scout prices. It's then you get. But here's the problem with that too. There's also another problem with that is when those people will come in here and buy the product and turn back around and resell it.
Yeah.
So that's the problem you run into with that too. And so I don't know which is better. But I like my patrons to be able to come in here and pay regular price for something, and somebody's not jacking the price up times 3. You know, and it's literally a stores that do that.
And occasionally we have to do limit 1 per purchase.
We do.
at least
We
for the first
do limit
opening
that.
weekend at least.
Like when we have limited supply, we would like to get it in hands as many people as we can, and we don't want people. You know, I understand you want more, but don't be too greedy. Let other people have a little bit of it too. You know, it's like we're trying to make everybody happy here. You're never going to do that. And that's what I've learned in the game store. You're never going to make everybody happy. Somebody's going to be upset about something, and we'll do our best to limit that. But people just have to understand, hey, we would give you more if we could. You know, we would supply you with what we can. But I need to make that money. Don't you think that don't hurt me too? It's like, it's just hurt your feelings, it's hurt my pocketbook.
Yeah, I'm kind of guilty of that too, because like way back, I don't know if you've ever seen them, but about 10 years ago or so, Nintendo came out with these little mini classic editions that was preloaded with like a bunch of
games. Yeah.
I knew a guy at Walmart who sold, they were supposed to limit 1, they sold me like 5. I didn't even have to name a price, you know. People were, I think I paid like $80 a piece for them.
People are offering you ridiculous amounts.
I think the lowest offer I got was like $700, $800.
Yeah, it happens a lot when stuff doesn't meet the demand.
Yeah.
And it's new. But if people just wait, and they just wait just a little bit longer, it's like I can't wait 2 or 3 months. They're going to overpay by tremendous amounts. 5 times 10 sometimes. It's crazy. It's like people just don't have any patience anymore. But like they gotta have it now. They gotta have it now.
That's against the instant gratification.
Yes, it definitely is, and a lot of people are like that. And they get upset about it. It's like, hey, just wait a little bit, save you some money, and you can get this. You know, it's like just chill. It's like it's what we got. We would get more. Believe me, it's not us doing this to you. We're trying to supply you with what we can. We want to sell you product. Don't get me wrong. It's just that we don't have enough.
So, do you have any other big events coming up between now and Christmas besides your tournaments?
We have those few tournaments coming up. what else do we have? Do we have something else? Usually on New Year's we do a little kind of fun party thing. We it's just like whoever's here, we kind of do fun stuff. We give away prizes and stuff at the end of the year. So we do have a Black Friday sale coming up, where we'll have some sales on some products and stuff.
Yeah, I was talking to your employee out there. He's telling me that y'all were doing a big thing with Warhammer.
Definitely you're gonna probably see some of the biggest savings you can on Warhammer come up on Black Friday. I think right now we're doing a minimum of 20% off on all product, and then we have some Leviathan sets left that we're probably gonna do 30 to 35% off, and you're gonna be able to get that for cheaper than you can buy it on the secondary market.
Now you all can't see this, but Josh is like,
Yeah, I was like, wait a minute.
No, but if you're looking for, you're holding off to buy some Warhammer stuff, that is the day to come do it. We definitely going to try to do a big sale and move some of that product out to get some, because we got to have room for the new stuff. So we want to move some of the product so we can get some of the newer releases and stock the shelves after the first of the year.
I'm just sitting there thinking, because my army just got a model refresh, and I sold my army before I moved down here, and I haven't really bought Warhammer since I've been here. So it's like Black Friday may work for me.
Yeah, definitely. That's coming up pretty soon. Actually, that's probably one of our biggest sales we're gonna do. We do have some sales on some Magic stuff and some other things. Can't remember the exact all what we're doing. I did send him an email for him to be working on us an ad for that. But yeah, definitely we have some big savings on Black Friday. Usually we do board games minimum of 10 to 75% off depending on the board game, and so every game in here will be on sale from at least 10% down up to 75% off.
Now, what's your biggest selling board game?
Probably what is it? We sell a lot of Happy Little Dinosaurs. We sell Unstable Unicorns. What is some more?
Dungeon Mayhem goes pretty quickly. We haven't sold them.
Dungeon Mayhem was a big seller, yes. And now we sold a lot of copies of it, but it has slowed down recently. But I think just because of you sell so many copies to the people around you. So, but I've sold Cards Against Humanity. I've sold quite a bit of that too.
Here's another shop. A lot of the shops around here don't even allow. They don't sell Cards Against Humanities because they don't allow it played in their store. I was surprised to see you guys sell it.
It's one of those things that it can be played as long as you're not offending other people, type thing.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to be careful with it. We don't see it played up here. I mean, I haven't run into that issue. So now I have run into issues where just people just playing in general that have we've had to ask them kindly to be careful with what they're saying. But
because we are a family.
Because we try to be very family oriented, and those not safe at work games, usually people buy those and take those home and play them. We don't have a big issue with the playing here. And if it is, it's like it's a dead night. They're up in the corner and they're mindful people. If somebody walks in the room, they're not going to be doing that. So we want people to understand that too. It's like, it's okay, but just be courteous to other people. Like when the other people around you, maybe you shouldn't say that, or calm down a little bit. Just be courteous, because if you were over there playing too, and you were sitting down, you wouldn't want that, overflowing.
Well, as much as I see, Catan isn't a big seller here.
Not really.
I think the problem with that one is it's been out for so long, and
Everybody
people
has
haven't. We have sold some copies of it, but I think it's just because that game's so old that people have copies already.
Same for Ticket to Ride. It's a super popular game.
Yeah.
Everybody loves it. We all already have our own copy.
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't sell that bad.
Well, like I said, I really want to invest in, like I said, the Red Dragon Inn, but again, I don't know if it's their publishing company. They just don't want to do the core set anymore.
I don't know. Maybe they discontinued the core set.
Because why would I want to buy the expansions without the core set? That never made sense to me.
Yeah, and that's what I hate about some games is they'll come out with a bunch of expansions and then you can't get a hold of the core game. And I've had that happen several times up here with different products. It's like I've bought their expansions, but their core game's not in stock, and I can't get it. And it's like, what am I supposed to do with these expansions? It's like hopefully somebody with the core game comes along and say, I finally want to get that expansion.
I only knew one person with the core set. That person had the core set because they invested in the Kickstarter.
Yeah.
And Another one I need to get. I just noticed it came out with a new expansion. Is the Exploding Kittens.
Oh yeah, they're coming out with a new one too. Yeah,
Well, it just came out with one. I saw it up there. Good versus Evil.
yeah,
Coming
Good
out with
versus
another
Evil.
one?
Yeah, I think that might have been it, or there's something else might be coming out. Not 100% sure, but that might have been what I was thinking about because I remember seeing it on the order list from not too long ago.
Yeah, because that's one that I enjoy playing. Just because some of the artwork alone is worth getting the cards.
Yeah.
We'll get you playing Gloom or Flux one of these days.
I heard Gloom is a really good game.
Mm-hmm.
I've sold a couple copies of that.
Flux is chaos in
Is
a
it?
card game. Yes,
Oh, cool.
you can. All the basis of the game is you draw a card and you play a card, but as you go through the game, some cards add rules to the game. Other cards change the end goal of the game, and it's
Constantly changing.
And if you walk by a table and see a game being played, all you have to do to join the game is draw 3 cards and join the table.
Jump
It
right
just
in.
keeps going.
That's crazy.
It's nuts.
That sounds fun. That does sound fun. It's like I like that come and go aspect of it. You know?
That's how Ravens is, though. I can jump in a game.
Yeah,
of
you can
Ravens
jump in a game of Ravens
anytime.
So
anytime.
another thing, we've asked all of our guests a specific question, but we're going to change it a little bit for you. If you got the time to yourself, because you said you don't get a lot of time to play anything, what is the first game you're going to play whenever you get time to play?
First game,
Yeah.
Now I do play. I do still play Magic a
Yeah.
little bit here and there. It's just that D&D is like a lot longer commitment, usually
Mhm.
hours. You know, so I don't know. I think it would. I don't know if I'd want to DM a game or play a game. That would be the tough part for me. It's like, but I definitely would like to play in a game or DM maybe a one shot or something because
Okay.
I don't think I have the opportunity to make a long campaign right
Mhm.
now, but definitely would be fun to do something cool like that or have a one shot or
Definitely going to D&D campaign. Like,
Yeah.
even
Yeah.
if it's just a one shot, because I haven't played in 2 years, and so I'm
Okay.
super psyched about getting it. I'm trying to get him to either DM one or get us a DM for, like, Christmas and do a one shot at Christmas.
There you go.
Well, I wouldn't mind helping out if I could. Like, Christmas is such a busy time for me.
oh yeah.
I don't know. I'm going to nights. I might be able to do something because I can come up here during the day whenever everything's slow.
Now,
I
do you
think it's
guys still have the Learn to Paint sessions here?
We do, but we had so many different events coming on, we were having trouble fitting it in. So we haven't had one in a few months because of that. Because every weekend was full of something. Because like I said, October's slow for us because there's so much other stuff going on, but also there's so many events that we're trying to schedule too. So the week's kind of dead, but the weekends are still okay. Is what I'm saying.
Mhm.
But like there was always something in the way. And it's like, we can't schedule it because of this. We can't schedule it because of that. We need the room. We run out of room. And so you would think that with all this space, we'd have enough room.
And our teachers that we have for that are epic.
They are very good
Very
good
good.
teachers. They have a lot of different techniques and stuff.
Yeah, because I remember seeing them the first couple weeks we started playing up here, and then they're gone. I haven't seen them now.
Yeah, they definitely we had it scheduled. We had to cancel it because it ran into another tournament or something. But it's just hard when we're getting 30, 40 people in these tournaments to try to do a paint thing next to it,
Mhm.
because sometimes that they take up two tables with that paint. So
Do you have a person that comes up here and teaches how to play D&D often? Or?
we've had Learn to Plays. Eddie does that a lot.
Yeah, Eddie's good at D&D.
Yeah, so we have these little we have the demo kit that we try to run them through a quick little tiny thing to kind of give them a taste of it, and it's a 20 or 30 minute demo. And there's one time we had almost 20 people come through.
It's quite a few.
Yeah, then there's some times where we'll do it and we only get like 7 or 8, but still that's 7 or 8 people. I just don't know if they ever want to stick to it, because it is hard unless you have friends or people that you already know that are into it or want to be into it.
It's a time
Well,
commitment.
It's a time commitment. You got to match up with those people too.
Yeah.
It's like that is the hardest part, I say, of trying to develop a steady RPG thing. So when I first started over there, I was running a Venture League, and it was getting really hard on me. I ended up with the problem I had is I couldn't get steady DMs, and I was running it, and I ended up with like 12 people at the table, and I'm like, this is too many.
Yeah.
I was like, this is way too many people. I was like, and the problem with that is when you get to that point, people start drifting. They stop paying attention. They're having to wait an epic amount of time to get around to where they get to do their action or their turn. And I had to break it up and say, look, I need to find people that want to run this and do their own thing. And that's when I kind of transitioned to just having open tables and inviting DMs to come bring their groups in and trying to help them fill their groups.
Mhm.
And now the problem is that I have a lot of groups and they're all full, and I still have people coming in asking about wanting to get into it, or they've moved here, and it's like, oh my gosh, what are we going to do with all these people? We need more DMs, we need more tables, we need more everything.
Yeah.
So I have yet to conquer the feat of being able to press those people together in an efficient manner, besides referring them to go to the Discord and introduce themselves and try to find it. But sometimes it's crickets. It's just hard. It's hard to integrate people into groups. And most of the groups I'm looking at up here are full.
Mhm.
So
I know my group's full to capacity.
yeah, so that's the biggest thing. We need more DMs, I think, or more DMs that reach out.
Maybe not on Saturday or Friday night.
Yeah,
like,
maybe,
come
yeah,
on
that's the
during
thing. We're
week.
getting concentrated on certain nights. We might need to see if we can find people that are willing to play on like Tuesdays and Wednesdays are our slow days. And I know people work, but if they want to run like 3-hour sessions on those days, we have so much space, and you'll be so much better off on those days.
You know, I'd love to do it on a weekday. Unfortunately, that's the thing with my group is everybody works.
Yeah.
And, you know, they're all professionals.
Yeah.
Most of the people in my group, and, you know, the only days they have off is
And
Saturday and Sunday.
and that's the other problem with your group is a lot of us are DMs too.
I know, and
Like,
you'll
like half
remind
of
me of it
everybody
every
in the group
session.
is. Yeah. So,
No, but if y'all ever finish and y'all want to break off, I guarantee you can pick up people if y'all want to get another group started.
well, the issue I have now is my new job. I'm working nights. So, but if you had people that work night shift or something, they could do during the day.
During the day,
Sure.
Oh yeah,
I'd
definitely.
definitely do it during
I'm
the day.
pretty sure you can find those people. Like I said, they just stroll in here. They're always asking. I'm like,
So,
get on the Discord and see if they have it open. So I've been referring a lot of them to Thursday, every other Thursday, because I think
Mhm.
Eddie has some room. Because he's about to start a come and go session
Mhm.
where people can come and go into it, kind of like, so it's built for that.
Yeah.
So hopefully some of these people that will be coming up here that I refer to will show up to that, so
Mhm.
get them a little taste of it, and so, because some of them are new and some of them are experienced players who just moved here or are looking to get back into it. They've been out of it for a while. So
Mhm.
there's definitely a strong community here, and there's a lot of more people out there that would be in it if they had friends or acquaintances to get into it. So it's a strong community.
yeah.
And that's one thing that we try to do with our podcast is reach out to the local community and try to get people involved and try to give some people something to listen to besides the normal humdrum of the big names on YouTube.
Yeah, well, I mean, if anybody wants to, we got room for plenty of DMs, and we got lots of room for other people to come out and play. Like I said, Saturdays are kind of getting to the breaking point, though. But if there's people that want to come up and step up and say, "Hey, I want to DM a group," I guarantee you can probably find enough people that are going to want to play. And because, like I said, they're always coming in here, so we definitely have a lot of room on almost every day except for Saturday. So we invite you to come up here, and remember, it's free to play. You just come in, drop in, play anytime that our hours are open. We just ask you to be courteous and leave when we're trying to leave. So we, like when we close down and stuff, have your stuff ready to go.
Yeah,
so
that's why we try to shut down when
Yeah.
my game shuts down. About the time y'all start yelling at
the last call for the grill. Yeah. so other than that, it's we do have this private room that you can rent if you want a little bit more privacy to yourself. But the other tables out there are 100% free.
Yeah.
And you can come out here and play any game. We have house games you can play. You can bring your friends. You can just come and eat. You just come and check us out. Just look at our store.
Mm-hmm.
So it's one of those things.
And I can vouch this is a nice room.
Yeah,
and it's
it is.
The rent on is very cheap.
Very nice room. And whenever I first moved here, I think you guys were the first gaming store I came to.
Okay.
Anyway, so, and I think you had just started moving in your Warhammer stuff whenever I first got
Oh,
here.
did you?
Yeah. I know you guys had just moved over here
Nice. Yeah.
because it gave me the old store's address. When I lived
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
So,
We
yes.
it
So-
takes a bit for Google and all that to
Mhm.
switch that over once you submit it. There's like a little time frame thing.
So,
I guess we go on to the other weekly stuff we do. Have you guys seen any good movies?
Movies.
Good fantasy movies? Or?
No, I don't. Can't remember the
Oh,
last
since
movie
I
we
saw
saw.
it.
We were catching up on The Walking Dead, but that's about it.
I watched old fantasy movie. I don't know if you've ever seen that movie Time Bandits.
Tom Bandits. I've probably seen it at some point.
It's really old and it's a really good movie. It's got the villain and it's the guy who played the teacher in Willy Wonka's the Chocolate Factory, Charlie's teacher. I believe that's who it is. That was a great movie. I just saw that over the weekend. Have you read any good books?
If I ain't had time to watch a movie, I haven't had time to read a book, man. It's like
I figured
the coolest thing that we've done recently, we went axe throwing. That's kind of fun.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, so over there in Longview, they have a downtown. They have a place you can go and just rent a.
Yeah, they have an axe throwing place. in
Yeah,
town,
it was pretty fun.
in one of those rage rooms you can pay just to smash it up.
I haven't been to that,
Yeah,
but the axe throw was kind of fun. They have these different games you can play, and you're throwing the axes. It's really cool. But other than that, we've
We've been fishing down in Galveston.
we went fishing in Galveston and stuff, but we've been really busy because we started moving over because we renovated upstairs.
Are you done?
For our one apartment. We are done, and we have been
Okay.
moving in. We're moved in, but we're not all the way unboxed. So,
How many apartments you got working on?
right now we just got that was the one that we were working on this whole time, and we got it done, and we're looking at maybe doing some more in the future, but it's very costly. So
Yeah, I figured you all would have just done that whole second floor for your house.
I wish that's 4,000 square feet. I don't need
I
that
don't
much.
wish.
For one,
There's too much cleaning.
For one, it's like, what am I going to do with 4,000 square feet? I'm not half the rooms I'm not even going to be in.
Game room.
Yeah, one big
Man
game
cave,
room.
that's all you need to say.
Well, 2,000 of it's nothing but an open room. It's got all the game stuff in it. No, but then you got to cool, heat, and it's just so much to upkeep and to clean. Like she said, cleaning. Yeah, it's not fun to clean a big house.
We had a 3,600 square foot home that had 3 bathrooms in it once, and I'm like, I
it's
do not ever want to do that again.
And then we had 10 acres, and it was like I had to mow too. So I'm like, you know what? It's like owning this. You need to be rich enough to pay somebody to take care of.
Yeah.
It's
If
like
you're gonna have it,
it's like it's too much to deal with.
So have you finished your Power Mage books yet?
Not yet. I'm still working on them. I'm almost through book 2 though. But
You've read the Driss series, or most of them, haven't you?
Half.
Half.
Let's see. We just finished. It took us forever. We just finished the Highlander TV series, and we're working on the spin-off show Highlander the Raven now. And any video games? Playing video games lately?
Nope.
You guys?
Oh, I play
That's
dilly dally with a lot of little stuff here and there at nighttime because I'm a night owl. I just can't sleep during the night half the time, so I'll play some video games. I play some old school EverQuest and some first person shooters. They have a new game that just came out called Dark and Darker. That's kind of D&D, Dark and Darker, and it's based off of running into a dungeon and getting out, and you go in. It's like a loot, and you fight, and it's all like it's D&D. You play a fighter, a bard, different things, and you go in and you you have to fight these other teams and get out of these portals with your loot, and then you can buy trade gear. So it's kind of fun.
Yeah, I just started Assassin's Creed Odyssey, which is really good. It's set in ancient Greece.
Oh yeah.
I started that one, and I just ordered a game. I kind of can't wait for it to come in. It's called Cuphead. From the pictures, it looks like it's set in an old 40s cartoon, the way the graphics are. It looks great. I'm so excited to try to get into that after I beat Assassin's Creed Odyssey, which is taking longer than I thought. Always feel free to join our Geekend Warriors Facebook page or my page, the Council of the Dungeon Masters on Facebook.
Or anything you guys want them to join.
Do you have a Facebook page or anything?
Oh yeah, definitely. We have a Facebook page. You just look up Dragon's Nest. You'll find us on Google. You can find us on that. We have a Discord, which we have several hundred people on. We have different channels, so you get in the channel you'd like. Talk about D&D, talk about Magic, Warhammer, whatever you want to. So yeah, you can just. We have an Instagram, and we also have all that. So, but if you can find that by going and TikTok now. So if you just go to look up Dragon's Nest on Google and Kill War, you can find that information. Go to our website. We have an instant invite to our Discord, and you can find all our links to our social media on there.
Just remember, listeners, what doesn't kill you gives you experience.